Hi, I'm Erin with Breathe Grace Yoga. Today we will share a practice of gentle yoga with an intention of joy. Let's begin in mountain pose, relaxing the shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just breathe deeply, feeling the breath as you inhale. Move through your body. And noticing how your body feels as you exhale. Taking any thoughts in your head and setting them on the side of your mat. Just focusing right now on this moment and our time together during this practice. Bringing your focus now to our intention of joy. The art of being happy lies in the power of extracting happiness from common things. And we'll open our eyes. Spread your feet wider than your hips, toes pointed out, and we'll begin with moonflowers and then move into sunflowers. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling into a squat. Elbows come close to your torso, shoulder blades come together in the back. Now moving with a fluid motion. Warming up the body. Two more, and then we'll move to sunflowers. Inhaling up the same way. When you come down in your squat, arms swoop in front of you, making a big circle like a sunflower. Inhale up, exhale down. Two more. And we'll come back to mountain pose. We're going to move into a chair flow. I'll start forward and then I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my body from both angles. Feet are hip distance apart. Take a breath to prepare. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, folding, hinging from the hips, keeping the knees slightly bent. Reversing your swan dive as you inhale again. Arms stay extended and come into chair. Again, inhaling up. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, reverse. Exhaling, chair. Sweeping the arms up. Folding forward, reversing your swan dive, and coming into chair. Again, sweeping up, folding forward, reversing, and coming into chair. One more time, inhaling up, exhaling, folding, inhaling, reverse, exhaling, chair. Now we're going to come down onto the mat. So we'll inhale the arms up, exhale, folding forward. Put your hands on the mat, come down to your knees, and sink back into child's pose. For child's pose, your knees can be together or wide. You can have your arms out in front of you like this, or you can bring them by your feet, whatever's comfortable for you. Taking a few deep breaths right here. And then coming up onto all fours, stacking your joints, shoulders above your wrists, hips above your knees. We're going to come into cat and cow. So lifting the chest, looking up. And then tucking the chin, arching the back. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, round. Inhaling, cow. Exhaling, cat. Continuing with your own breath. Two more each way. Then we'll come back to neutral spine. We'll come into a spinal balance. So again, making sure those joints are stacked still. We're going to lift the left arm up and the right foot back, pulling that belly button towards the spine. And breathe. And then bring that down. Lift the right arm up and the left foot back, flexing the toes to protect your knee joint. Keeping that torso nice and engaged and still. And relax. Now we'll flow with the breath. Right arm, left foot. Inhale up. Exhale down. Switch. Inhale up. Exhale down. Switch. Working with your own breath. If you find that you're not stable or it's confusing, you can do one limb at a time, like I'm doing now, as an option, keeping that core engaged. You're still working hard. As long as you're moving, you're doing great. Couple more. One more each way. And then sink back to child's pose. Arms are extended this time. And then pull forward so you're in a kneeling plank. We're going to lower down. Drop the belly, lift the chest a little bit for baby cobra, and then press back to child's pose again. Inhale forward, exhale lower, inhale lift, exhale press back. Again, pulling forward. Lowering, lifting, pressing back. So what if this is difficult and your arms and shoulders don't want to support you so well here, and you have trouble with that lowering and lifting movement? Get some blankets and do it right over the blanket, pillows, not blankets. And let's do it right over the pillows. Come forward, lower, lift the chest, and press back. There's nothing wrong with supporting yourself with some bolsters or pillows. Inhaling forward, exhaling lower. Inhaling, lift the chest. Exhaling, press back. Because what you're essentially doing when you pull forward and lower and then lift, you're doing a push-up. And push-ups are not easy. Sometimes we need to work up to them. So it's okay to support yourself while you're gaining strength and learning moves. You can surely stack some blankets or put a pillow underneath just to make sure that you're being safe while you're working. One more time. And come back to child's pose and just relax. So if you ever find a section of a class that you're struggling with for whatever reason, maybe I didn't explain it well, or maybe you're not used to it with your body, or maybe it's just not accessible, message me. We'll find a way to make it work for you, I promise. There are variations for everything. Or maybe you're taking a class online with someone else and you're not sure how to make something work for your body, message me. I change things and modify things and vary things all the time for my body. And I would be so happy to help you figure out how to keep moving instead of stopping and waiting, because it's better to keep moving. So let's move. Let's stand up. We are going to do some sun salutations modified. Since this is gentle, start at the top of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale, folding forward. Stepping back with your left leg onto the knee. Arms come up. Low lunge. Hands come down. Bring that right leg around. Come back into child's pose. We're going to do just what we just did. Pulling forward, lowering, lifting, and pressing back. Left leg comes forward for a low lunge. Arms come up if it feels good. You can leave them down if you want to. Hands come to the mat, feet together. Reverse your swan dive. Hands come together, heart center, and chair pose. Again, sweeping up, folding forward, stepping back with the left onto the knee. Making sure that knee doesn't go past your toes in the front. Hands come down, right leg comes around, sink back. Pulling forward for a kneeling plank, lowering, lifting the chest, and then pressing back. Left leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat. Feet together, reverse your swan dive, and chair. One more time on this side, sweeping up, folding forward, stepping back with the left. Hands come down, right leg comes around, sinking back, pulling forward for plank, lowering, lifting the chest, and pressing back. Left leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat. Step your back foot forward. Reverse your swan dive. And come to chair. Switching sides. Sweeping up. Folding forward. Stepping back with the right onto the knee. Hands come to the mat. Left leg comes around, sink back. Pulling forward, lowering, lifting and pressing back. Right leg comes forward, arms come up. Hands come to the mat, feet together, reverse and chair. Again, sweeping up, folding, stepping back with the right onto the knee. Hands come to the mat, left leg comes back. Pulling forward for plank, lowering, lifting the chest, and then pressing back. Right leg comes forward. Hands come to the mat, feet together, reverse, and chair. One more time, sweeping up, folding, stepping back with the right. Low lunge. Hands come to the mat, left leg comes around, sink back. Pulling forward for plank, lowering, lifting the chest and pressing back. Right leg comes forward, low lunge. Hands come to the mat, feet together, reverse your swan dive, and chair, and relax. Grab a drink, and then we will move on to our next section. So coming back to the mat, standing in mountain pose. Feet are hip distance apart. We're relaxing the shoulders, engaging the quad muscles. When you engage your quads, your abs engage slightly. You're not forcing the abs to tighten up, but a little bit of that happens when you flex your quad muscles. So that's the position we're going for right now. We're going to take the left arm up, right arm down. We're going to pull in both directions and then lean to the right, just a little bit, leaving space between your arm and your ear and your shoulder. And then we'll switch. Again, pulling in both directions and then arching over just a little bit to the side. Very active lateral flexion. And relax. And we're going to do a chest expansion. So a couple of options here. If you can clasp your hands behind your back, go ahead and do that. Open up the shoulders and the chest. If you can't, reach back there, because not everybody can, and that's okay. Grab a strap or a belt. Bathrobe belts work great. Any kind of canvas belt will be good. Hold on to it behind you and press your arms down. The closer you can get your hands, the more the shoulders and chest will open. So just be where you're comfortable without hurting yourself, but get those shoulders open and stretched out. And then you can put your strap down if you're using one. And we'll do a couple of warrior poses. So let's start with the left foot in the front, right foot in the back. If your heel is down, you have an option here. You want your toes pointing at about 2 o'clock. If your heel is up, your hips will be squared and your feet will be both pointing toward the top of your mat. Okay, so heel down is traditional warrior one legs. Heel up is a crescent lunge. Either one is fine. Some people are not comfortable putting that heel down. It hurts their ankle, and that's okay. So let's bend to the front leg, lift the arms up, lowering the shoulders, and your gaze comes up. Pull that belly button towards the spine and breathe. And then we'll open up towards me, pivot that back foot just a little so now it's parallel with the back of your mat. Front leg stays bent, arms come to shoulder height, and you're looking over your left fingers. Tuck that tailbone, pull that belly button in towards the spine. Take a look at that knee in the front, make sure it's not tilted in like this. You want to be all in a nice line like you're in between two plates of glass. And relax. Now we'll do the other side. So taking your right foot in the front, left foot in the back, toes are at about 10 o'clock if your heel is down. Bend your right leg, arms come up, shoulders relax. Gaze is up, belly button is pulled towards the spine. Warrior one, feeling strong and breathing. Dropping the arms to the shoulders, pivoting the back foot, opening up the hips for warrior two. Right leg is still bent. We're looking over the right fingers, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly button in, checking that knee, making sure it's nice and straight. Warrior two. Some arm options for your warrior poses. Heart center, hands on hips. You can even do chest expansion and open the chest. Put the hands behind you if that feels good. And step forward and relax. And today we're going to do dancer as our balance pose. So let's ground the left foot, spread the toes, feel the mat under your feet, engage the quads and the glutes and your core. Lift your right leg, grab your ankle, and start like this. Make sure those muscles are engaged. That will help you to stay stable. Lift your left arm out in front of you, and if it feels good, hinge forward, letting that leg come back behind you. Now, you can always hold on to a wall or a chair, or you don't have to come up that high. You can even just stay in a quad stretch. So whatever feels good for you today. And release, and we'll do the other side. Spreading the toes on the right foot, engaging your quads, your glutes, and your abs, lifting the left leg, grabbing the ankle, bringing the right arm up, making sure all those muscles are engaged. Make sure you're breathing. Choose a focal point, and then hinge forward if it feels good. And relax. All right, and we're going to move down to the mat for our cool down. So let's start in child's pose, inhaling the arms up, exhaling, folding, bending the knees, bringing the hands to the mat, And then sinking back to child's pose. Taking a few deep breaths right here. And then extending your hands out in front of you, pulling forward. Bringing your hips down, arching your back a little bit, looking up, and then sending your hips back again. We'll do that a few times. It's a hip rock. Pulling forward, bringing the hips down, looking up, and pressing back. Pulling forward, hips down, and back. And if that back bend is too much for you, you can do what we did before and put a pillow in front of you. Not go as deep, or lower and do a smaller back bend with your arms bent. And then press back, and I'll show you what it looks like with a pillow here. Pull forward, let the hips come onto the pillow. It's not quite as deep into the back bend. Do 2 more. Roll up some blankets or towels. That works too. Lets your body move without going so deep so you can be safe. So those are some options. And from here, we're going to move into a bound angle. I'm going to grab a blanket to sit on. It's a really good idea to, when you're sitting flat on the floor, to raise your hips up. It helps with the curve in your lower spine, and it's more comfortable for your hips. So bring the soles of your feet together in butterfly or cobbler's pose. And you can have your feet further away from your body, closer to your body, whatever's comfortable for you. If you have any hip conditions or hip tenderness, leave them a little bit further out. Grab a hold of your ankles, press with your elbows into your legs, and hinge forward, but keep your spine tall. Let's not round the back just yet. Just hinge forward with a straight spine. Breathing deeply here. And then go ahead and round to the back. Drop the head towards the feet. Now you're opening up the vertebrae in the spine. And roll up. Coming back into a straight spine position, we're going to come into a table. So go ahead and move your blanket out of the way. Bring your feet hip distance apart in front of you, knees up. Hands are under your shoulders behind you. Fingers are pointed towards your body. And you're going to lift your hips up. Try to get them as even as you can so they're not dipped all the way down. Lift as high as you can. Pretend you're a table and hold it as long as you're able. This is challenging, so if you need to come down and then come back up, that's fine. While you're holding, just focus on your breath. And then release. And we're going to come into a seated forward fold. So again, I recommend sitting on a rolled up blanket or towel. to raise those hips up. And let's get a strap if you have one. So get on your sits bones. Maybe you need to move some extra stuff out of the way to make sure you're on your sits bones. Sit up nice and tall. Wrap that strap around the bottom of your feet. And we're going to keep the spine tall and just walk the hands down the strap with a tall spine, not rounding yet. Feeling that stretch in the back of the legs. And then go ahead and round the back, dropping the head towards the knees. Continue holding your strap, or maybe grab your ankles or your feet. And then walk the hands back up. You can put your strap on the side. And we're going to come to a lying down position. Bring your knees up and give them a hug. And then send one leg out while you're hugging the other leg. And switch, and switch, and switch, and continue switching, one leg at a time, hugging one knee, sending the other knee out. Little ab workout before we finish. You can do this seated in a chair too, so if you don't like to get down on the floor, you can sit in a chair and pull one knee up at a time towards you. You can also do this lying on a couch or a bed. Don't forget that. Sometimes being up on a platform is nice and a little bit more comfortable. And don't think you can't exercise in bed. You can. I do it sometimes. One more each way. And then hug both knees again. Anything seated or lying down you can do in bed or on a couch. Anything standing you can just do right on the floor. So if you want to do this in your bedroom, that would be a great way to do it if you don't want to get onto the floor. So we're lying on our back, our knees are up. Let's put our arms out to the side in a T. And we're going to drop the knees to the right and look over the left shoulder for a little spinal twist, trying to keep both shoulders on the ground. And then bringing those knees back up, let's realign the spine, recenter your head, and then drop the knees to the left and look over the right shoulder. Come back to center, realign your spine, straighten your head, and prepare for final relaxation. For Shavasana, you can be in corpse pose. You can bring the soles of your feet together in reclined cobblers. You can leave your feet wide, knees up and in towards each other. You can put your feet on a bed or up the wall, or lie down on your side or your belly. Or you can put a bolster or some pillows behind you in one of my favorites. Open the chest, stretch the back, lie over the bolster. Legs can be straight out, or they can be in cobbler's pose. So however you are comfortable today, find your Shavasana position. And when you get there, close your eyes. Bring your focus inward, focusing on your breath, noticing the feeling of goodness and appreciation for what you just did for your mind and your body and your spirit. You moved, you flowed, you fed yourself physically and mentally. Breathing in calmness, breathing out tension, breathing in relaxation, breathing out stress. And bringing your focus to our intention of joy. To get up each morning with the resolve to be happy is to set our own conditions to the events of each day. To do this is to condition circumstances instead of being conditioned by them. Knowing that we have the power to decide to find joy and happiness each day. Knowing you can come back to this place anytime by stopping and closing your eyes and focusing inward on your breath. To feel this peace and this relaxation and this joy. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, take in your surroundings, and then roll to one side and support yourself into a seated position. We'll inhale up and exhale. One more time, inhale up and exhale. The light in me honors and appreciates the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you soon.